guys, welcome to another kit review. Today we're going to have a look at the Dragon Smart Kit 1/35 scale 39-45 series Leichte PzKpfw Ausf A. It's a radio command vehicle, which is basically a converted Panzer 1. Alright, so this one I believe does have an interior. But first let's have a look at the sides of the box. Yep, there we go. Camouflage for 3 different vehicles. It would be early war, I think. Basic warnings. Dragon's address. On the other side we have the usual Dragon 3D CAD views of Photo Etch parts. Details like the radio and antennas, etc. And on the back we have, same again, 3D CAD views of all the different parts that put this vehicle together, showing some of the Photo Etch which is included, and magic tracks. These should be quite small, seeing as this is only a Panzer 1. Alright, so let's have a look in the box and see what we've got. Let's get this off. There we go. That can go over there. Alright, first thing. Right, first thing out is the magic tracks. These are tiny, tiny, tiny. So we'll take a lot of patience. Photo Etch. Natural enough, as usual, I will give you still photos of this, wheel rims, and that is the decal sheet. Very basic German crosses and not much else. Okay, yep. Let's put that one aside. First up, upper hull, front. This also has, and I'll turn that around so you can see it, clear parts, which is this periscopes, okay, which is quite good for a little tank like this because it has interior and tools, very sharp. Put that one away. Next, screw bag, turret. See how small this is? That's my thumb. Yes. More tools. Small one there with accessories on it. And they look like components for the actual, yep, there it is, that's the back, or no, that's the front, sorry, my bad. Yep, so you got hatches and all sorts of things in that one. Next up, 2 screws in this one. Right, top of the vehicle. So this is quite complex because this is, instead of having a solid hull, upper hull, it's got all the different front, sides, etc. Then you've got your wheels, suspension. Everything looks good so far. Quite small. And that next one is internal parts. Doesn't have an engine, what I can say, but it does have internal for the main command compartment, mudguards, radiators. I think it even has radios. Yep, that's probably what that is. Right, let's put that one aside. This is how big it is. Little tiny tank. Nice detail though. Even on the bottom, nice detail. And oh, even more. It's hidden out of sight. Look at that. Yep, more internal details. Slightly different wheels, suspension. There is a lot in this box, and even more internal details, like possibly seats, frames, etc. We'll have a look at that in close very shortly. And the instructions. Alright, and that brings us to what's in the box. So bear with me, I'll take all this stuff out of the bags and we'll have a closer look at the instructions and the screws. Alright. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look at the instructions. As you can see, all the blue parts, they are for all the parts that you will not need. So there's quite a lot, including some wheels, tools, etc., that can go into your spares box. You might be able to use them somewhere else. Let's have a look. Okay, these are your colors. Okay, so basic white, black, steel, red, brown, that kind of thing, but you would only use the green, brown for pre-war vehicle. Standard warnings, key to all the glue, don't glue, how many pieces kind of thing. That's fine. And then it starts off on the wheels, including putting on, okay, your photo etch. Part 2 is just attaching the wheels to the hull tub and so on, front. And then we get to internals. So this is your gearbox, drive chain for the front of the vehicle, internal radios, seats, etc. Individual pedals, radios. So as you can tell, the radios are actually 3 pieces. They go into radio bank, all these bits and pieces, even fire extinguisher and jack. Next page is putting the tracks on. These are magic tracks, so they are quite small, quite fiddly, but they will just click together in theory. Alright, once that's done, the whole interior goes into the tub, tracks go on, photo etch goes around the exhausts, then you've got the radio aerials, which brings us to a much more detailed putting. Okay, as you can tell, it has a reasonable interior. No engine, but for such a small tank I'm not surprised. Then you're just adding the aerials, exhaust pipes. Then you come to the upper hull, and the upper hull is all sorts of plating which goes onto a central mold, and then it's a matter of just putting those bits and pieces together to create the upper hull and the turret. So once that's all together, even more radios. Here we go, just fitting in the engine parts, engine compartments, so on, and then you've got your turret, which goes on top. No weapons, but you can leave the hatches open, and you would, otherwise you're just going to lose out on all that internal detail. And then we come to paintings and markings. So standard, luckily they give you the rail numbers, so even if you don't use their recommended paint company, you can match it using Interweb. Germany 1938, Germany 1939, all over grey, Germany 1935. Okay, so you're looking at yellow, brown, green, and that's it for the instructions. Now we'll get on to the sprues. Alright, bear with me, and see you in a minute. Okay, here we are back again, and let's first have a look at the magic track. There's your magic track. Okay, I will give you stills of all this anyway. Photo etch, wheel rims. Not sure, another piece of photo etch, looks like possibly to do with the radio aerial. There's your decals, as I said, basic crosses, that's all there is to it. And the other photo etch sheet, which is, as you can tell, so look, get that way there, grills, brackets, attachments for various tools, etc. like that. Okay, I'll give you close-ups of these once I take them out of the bag. The bag. Right. First up, let's have a look at the clear parts. Alright, so there we are, clear parts. Looking pretty good. These are quite intricate. Will have to be taken off the screws very carefully. Vision blocks, etc. But looking pretty good. Very small, that's very fine. So that will take a lot of care to take those off. Since this is a small tank, a lot of the parts are quite small. So next we've got, there we go, nice rivet detail on that. Nice rivet detail here. There's your upper hull. Very fine. Looking good though. Tools. Exhaust pipes. More tools. There we go. Everything seems to be very crisp. Very nice details. So remembering that there's a lot, as I give you a comparison. One here, one here. It's not much difference, but as you can tell, compared to each other, one's longer than the other. So a lot of these parts will end up in your spares bin, and they could come in handy for other things further down the track, even if you just use them for experimental painting. Small screw, couple of accessories, clips, etc. Not much on that one. Next row is turret. Nice big hatch. No crew figures. Radio aerials, again, very fragile. Tools are okay. The aerial is very fragile. Main hatch, so it will take care, very much care, to take that off without breaking it. Alright, so wheels, wheel rims. Okay, standard bogies, thrive sprocket, idler wheel. Okay, suspension, wheel caps. So some of these wheels are not used. This is why you get the other second sheet. You'll use those wheels instead. Okay, so what we've got here, okay, not too bad. These are another hatch there. So these are your upper hull plating, right? This is very fine detail. Big difference between a radio command tank and a standard Panzer 1. But the detail is really nice, and from what I can see, hardly any or no flash, and nice detail on the inside of the hatch. Some molding marks, but I don't know if you can see it there. Got a nice piece of detail for the hatch Here we go. Alright, these are your internals. Radios. Very, very compact. Remembering this is only a small tank. Very small tank. It's going to be very tight, but the detail is quite impressive. And I'll give you close-ups of these anyway. Very sharp. Very, very sharp. Alright, what do we got next? Next is more tools, mudguards, with some nice rivet detail. There's a rear radiator, accessories for outside, jack, you know that, even your cable cutters, very fine detail on those, very, very fine. Springs, nice, I like it. So we've got these wheels. These are the wheels that you'll actually be using. They're slightly different to the ones on the main sprue. And then we've got more accessories for inside. Yeah, back of the seat. There we go. There we go. Pistol bits. A lot of this stuff you will not be using because they weren't fitted on a command tank. Great for your spares box. Great for adding to interior of other tanks, especially other Panzer ones. And the other Panzer ones. And last but not least, the hull. Okay, put that down there. Nice detail, very nice detail on the bottom. Nice rivets, very fine, but that's the way it is. It's a Panzer 1 and it's not very big. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the kit review for Dragon's Panzer 1 Ausf A radio command tank. Very nice compact little vehicle, but not too bad. I like the fact that it's got an interior. I like the fact that you can have the hatch open. The individual track links are very small. They will be the challenge. A lot of patience required, but I think this one, if you can pick one of these up, I'm happy I got it. I believe this one did cost me round about $35 to $40 Australian. So, but in the end, definitely worth it. Definitely worth picking up, adding to your collection. All right, and that brings us to the end of this one. Hope you got something out of this review, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks.